Hello YouTube, I'm Dan.
I'm El.
And this is two blokes having a chat. Now in this week's video we are playing Decap Attack. Now Elliot, why are we playing this game?
Well, this is a response video to a video that a lovely young lady in Australia did named Alli Flanagan. She did a review video on a game called Gunstar Heroes, which I believe you've got right there.
Yep.
Now Gunstar Heroes is a really good, really fun shooting game for the Mega Drive.
Absolutely.
And she commented quite rightly that it's insane, and she asked what are the other insane games that we enjoy playing.
Yep.
And when it comes to insane Mega Drive games, you don't get much more crazy than this.
Yes, I probably have to agree.
Yep. This is a game where you play as a mummy. This game actually originally had a comic strip back in the day. In England we had a comic called Sonic the Comic. I don't know if it was published all over the place, but we certainly had it here. And they had a comic strip based on this game. And the history of the character is he was actually a mummy that had a head, and then I believe a ladder fell on him.
Right, okay.
And his head ended up in his stomach.
Which is basically your main form of attack, isn't it?
That's our main form of attacking in this.
So you're basically attacking them with your head.
We do, I can't really call it a head butt, it's more like a face butt, with the face that you see there in the stomach.
Yep.
So that's how we attack enemies in this game. Now at the moment, as you can see, I've got a second head, a skull, which is it's kind of like a secondary weapon. It's a power up. I got it at the beginning of the first level. If I get hit, I will lose that power up, and I usually get hit on this climb, so I'll probably lose it anytime soon. But it acts as a boomerang, which is it's quite nifty. You can do some quite cool little tricks with it. Like I occasionally, like there you go, I've lost it right there. Oh, I've got another one. It's okay. Occasionally I'll throw it, it lands next to an enemy, and rather than wait for it to come back, I'll just jump onto the other side of the enemy, and then when it whips back, I actually get it on the rebound.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool little moves and things you can do in this game. I'll explain a little bit of the history about this game and how it came about.
Yep.
This game wasn't always a good game. It went through several incarnations before it became the game we're playing today. It originally started off as a game on the NES called Kid Kool.
Right.
Now Kid Kool, a lot of the tropes and traits and characteristics that this game has engine-wise, you can see in Kid Kool. But Kid Kool's quite a difficult game to play. It doesn't control too well.
Right, okay.
There's certain issues with the screen shifting vertically, and there's momentum physics problems. And it is just a bit of a struggle to play. I will put some footage in. If you want to know a little bit more about the game Kid Kool, Angry Video Game Nerd actually did a video on it. That's how notoriously bad. I say notoriously bad. A lot of the games he does, sometimes they're really, really bad. Sometimes they're okay games. He sort of exaggerates the negative points. To be fair, actually, Kid Kool is quite a rotten game to play from my experience of it.
Right.
It then got revised and it got turned into a game called Psycho Fox for the Master System.
Yep.
Which was a little better. A lot of Master System fans actually, I do think, rate it quite highly. I've been on Twitter, people have been putting like their top 5, top 10 Master System games, and Psycho Fox does get mentioned, it does get thrown about. I wasn't particularly keen on it, but maybe I just haven't given it enough time. I did play it out of curiosity because I like this game.
Yep.
They're all made by the same developer, a developer called Vic Tokai. Psycho Fox then got remade again and got turned into a game. I'm going to need to refer to my notes here, mate.
Do you want me to read it for you?
Please do, please do.
Magical Hat Flying Turbo Adventure. Say that 3 times really quick.
Magical Hat Flying Turbo Adventure. No, I'm not going to bother with that. But no, that apparently was a Japanese cartoon, so the Japanese got a version of this game, which was almost what we're playing here. It's a lot more colourful than this game, because at the moment what we're playing is a sort of a mulchy, muddy, autumn type horror setting.
Yep.
Not all the levels are like this, but the first couple are quite brown and quite mucky, and a little bit drab. But the levels are bright and colourful in the Japanese version of this game. Like I say, they're based on a Japanese cartoon.
Yeah.
Where you play, I believe you play a little kid in a turban who has a little punch, and he's got a little friend that he throws around. Obviously not, because I'm not familiar with the cartoon it's based on. I'm not familiar with all the backstory and things, but I played that game a little bit and it's quite a fun game. I'd say it's harder than this one.
Right.
When they come to bring that game to the West, obviously there were issues because no one in the West had seen the cartoon that it was based on.
Yeah. So for that purpose, they sort of just rehashed the graphics and
they did a Doki Doki Panic. They changed all the graphics around. They gave it a new story, gave it some new characters. The character we're playing is a character called Chuck D. Head. He's got a doctor that made him called Frank N. Stein.
Yeah.
And the big baddie at the end of this game is called Max Decap, hence the name Decap Attack. So So yeah,
Loving
we
the
are going to
work
be going. We're going to be going around an island. This game is split into. Apparently, what's happened is you're on an island. The island is split into 7 bits.
Yep.
And we're doing a sort of like the end of Sonic 3, bringing peace to the island. We're bringing all the bits together. Ah, here we go. I've completed 1 level. So we're going to get a little bit of the island come back into place. And as you progress through the game, all the bits are going to come together, and the island is going to unionise.
Yep, sounds like a simple plan.
Yes, the game is split into 7 zones. Again, as you can see, yeah, this one's got quite a drab autumn theme. They don't really all have that, but the first couple certainly do. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about the levels. Oh yeah, there's 7 levels split into 3 acts. And one good thing about the 3rd act is there's a treasure you need to find, so it's not just a case of you need to get to the end of it and kill the boss. You actually need to do a little bit of exploration as well.
Okay.
If you don't find the treasure, you'll end up killing the boss, getting to the exit, and you can't actually leave. The treasure is what's needed to bring the island back together. So let us play a bit of Decap Attack. Do you want to have a go, mate?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Right, let's jump.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, control-wise, it seems pretty decent. Although I'm a bit annoyed you have to sort of tap the jump button to hover down like that, as opposed to just holding it down.
I'm quite pleased that feature's there, actually. I prefer it to be there than it not to be there. A lot of the platforming might be a little bit difficult. That's something I noticed in the earlier versions of the games, is difficult to land in the spots, but because the game is so focused on momentum. Have another go, mate. One thing you notice about Kid Kool and Psycho Fox is you need to build up speed in order to do any sort of jump. You notice it a little bit in this game, actually. One thing I thought was funny when I was having a little practice, I needed to get a bit of a run up just to get the heights. You'd think you need to do a run up for distance, but it also affects the height of your jump as well. If you're moving quite slowly, you'll only do a small jump. You need to get a bit of speed behind you to get a high jump. So even if the ledge you're trying to get to is right next to you, if it's too high up, you do need to take a bit of a run up, which is kind of unusual. But it does certainly help you on the way down. Here we can hover over huge distances, kind of like in Mario World. And it helps you wall jump just like this.
Yep, definitely.
A lot easier to do than in Super Metroid.
Cool. So what year did this game come out with?
I'm not sure, let me check it out. I think it was in the middle of the consoles, like in 91. And it's a black box game, so it was not early, but early-ish. Lovely, colourful, cartoony game. I had a lot of fun with this as a kid. I originally saw it on Games Master, I think, which is a show we have in the UK where they'd have contestants on to do little challenges. I saw a lot of good games back in the day from watching Games Master. And I remember bothering my mum for weeks and weeks, asking her to get me this game, and she got it from Let's Entertainment in Romford.
Oh yeah.
I actually had a Genesis copy of this. It was American.
Cool. How did you play that one then?
Oh no, you can play it on your UK console.
Oh, okay.
It's not region locked. Very few Mega Drive games were region locked. I know Streets of Rage 2 is, because I've got a modded Mega Drive.
Yep.
And if I haven't got the switches set in exactly the right place, it won't play my English version of Streets of Rage 2. And that's
There you go.
another act done. Just trying to remember what the next one's like. Oh yeah, a bit of swimming in this one, you'll be alright.
Can you drown in this game, or is it like sort of Mario, just like infinitely swim?
Oh no, you can't drown, you'll be fine. You don't stay in the water for very long anyway. One advantage this game has over the Japanese version is the health system. You can actually take a few hits in this.
Yeah, it's not like your Contra where it's sort of one hit kills.
Well no, the Japanese version of this game,
Oh, how's it?
yeah, it's one hit kills, which is quite nasty. Speaking of Contra, that's actually how I discovered Alli Flanagan on YouTube. One of my favourite games on the Mega Drive is Contra Hard Corps.
Yep.
And has there ever been a game that even though you know about it and you like it, you still try to look up reviews just to see what other people think about it?
Yeah, it'd definitely be sort of like your Contras, like your Castlevanias as well, and
Yeah.
like sort of like Simon's Quest 2, where it's obviously notoriously difficult because you just don't know what to do. But It's sort of nice to see what other people make of it as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm surprised that game got the backlash it did. I was quite keen on it, but yeah, Ali did a video on Contra the Hard Corps, and she's very enthusiastic about it. As I think it's a great game. We'll have to do that at some point. And that one's 2-player co-op as well, so we can have a little play of that one.
Mind you, we still need to actually go back and play the NES ones properly without doing a live cheat.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? I don't see that happening, mate. We certainly won't complete Hard Corps. It's a nightmare. Great game though.
Yeah, it's one of those games that are hard as nails, but you don't get overly frustrated when you're playing it, and you just get completely rinsed by the bad guys.
No,
you just keep going
either.
back for more.
I think there's something euphoric about all the explosions and just the bullets going everywhere.
It's quite intense.
Yeah. You play it on an absolute high, that game. Maybe that's why I enjoy it so much. So, that's Decap Attack, mate. So why don't we get on to some gaming news?
Yes.
We've got some topics to discuss. What's
So,
been happening in the world?
Well, a sort of bit of good news from Nintendo was the announcement of that GameCube adapter for the Wii U.
And I thought this was interesting.
Yeah.
So, for anyone who doesn't know yet, if you kindly explain what this thing is.
So basically, it's a little sort of squarish box which looks like it connects to the Wii U via 2 USB cables into the machine.
Right. Fair
and
enough.
basically allows you to connect 4 GameCube pads to the Wii U.
Cool.
Now, I think they're doing this for Smash Brothers when it's released later this year.
Yeah, I mean, officially I think they're releasing this so you can play Mario Kart, but the intention is that everyone will have one in time for Smash Brothers. Because the GameCube version has got to be the most popular version of Smash Brothers.
I believe so.
Yeah. So it's a firm fan favourite. Even though Brawl came out on the Wii, there's all these competitions that go around, people videoing big tournaments of Smash Brothers, and it's always the GameCube version they play.
So, but you had an interesting idea, thinking that you could do more than just 4 players on the Wii.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because if you have Wii controls or Pro controls or whatever, you can hook up 4 or 5 controls at once, including the Wii U gamepad. I mean, that's what we've experienced traditionally so far. We've had 4-player games like 4-player Mario 3D and 4-player Mario Wii U, and plus people can interfere with the touchpad.
Yep.
But I'm thinking, if you can also hook up 4 GameCube controls, could you have 8 players simultaneous? So would you be able to play Smash Bros. If you've got 4 GameCube controls and 4 Wii-based controls?
Yeah. I think for most games it probably wouldn't work, but for something like Smash Brothers, it's all fixed on one screen.
Why not?
Can you imagine 8-player Smash? That would just be intense.
Well, I think the fans would love it. So, I mean, I don't know how feasible it is, but I certainly think fans will enjoy it. But I think it's kind of strange that, because these pads are, because it's already backwards compatible with the previous generation. They've gone back 2 generations. So Nintendo's obviously aware of how how retrospective the fans are, knowing they'll still have GameCube controllers lying about.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me sad as well that they didn't just sort out the the control pad problem in the first place that the Wii U has. It does highlight that there is certainly an issue. There's an issue because they've released it with a pad. I mean, I've gone on about the touchpad before.
Yeah.
And how much I love the Pro controller. So, do I take it that people aren't buying the Pro controller? They've got to get adapters so people can use their old controllers? They're not pushing the new controllers enough? Are the new controllers not good enough?
It's an
What's the
interesting
issue?
It's an interesting point. I mean, I think it's going to depend on how much it costs when it comes up. I mean, if it's going to be like a £15-20.
Oh yeah,
device,
I mean,
maybe they just thought it's just a nice, easy peripheral just to throw out there, perhaps.
Yeah.
Or
and how many of these are they going to produce? I mean, are they only going to release it with games? Can you buy it separately?
I'm assuming they might.
I don't think it's out at the moment, is it? I mean, I've only just seen photographs of it. You'd have thought they'd have had that out in time for Mario Kart.
Well, my understanding was it's meant to be something that's going to have to be bundled with Smash Brothers.
Oh, fair dues, fair dues.
That's my impression of it.
I just assumed, given the timing, that this was going to be compatible with Mario Kart.
Well, I certainly don't think that it would be an issue for them to release patches which would allow the games to run.
Yeah, I mean, the Mario Wii U originally was never compatible with the Pro controller.
Yeah, and so they go very quickly. They released a patch and boom.
Yeah.
There you go. So it would be an easy thing for them to definitely fix up when.
Yeah, I don't like patches. I mean, obviously I like patches. I like the fact that we've been able to do so much with patches. I'm just not sure I like the idea of them. I prefer them to get things right in the first place, in the first instance.
Well, this leads on to an interesting thing. 'Cause for me, the thing I hate, day one patches. You get a game, first thing you put it in the machine,
I mean,
and you have a patch
I
download.
understand why they do it, because obviously there's a period of time between printing the discs and getting the game out, so they could notice problems or errors and things like that. But back in the day, you couldn't do that.
No.
If you released a game on a physical cartridge, it had to be right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's not as easy as that. I know the games are more complicated to make these days, but it's all a question of scale. Games weren't easy to make back in the day. They had to get them right first time.
But then,
Do you think-
to me, it sort of just
Do I
seems-
dare say, I mean, I know this is a little bit rich from someone who's only produced one very small game. Do you think devs are getting a bit lazy?
I was just about to say that
they're because they know they're there, they're relying on them.
This is going to be my exact same words a minute ago, which was, I think...
I do feel quite bad criticising the people that produce the entertainment that we like. I don't do it in jest, but...
But no, so you go back to like the 90s where you had the likes of Sonic, you know, when they came out on the Mega Drive. If that game was broken, it would have been broken and that was it. You couldn't fix it, unless, like you say, you went and bought a whole new game which was later released.
And what's interesting is people actually revel in the errors and bugs that they find. You know, they become interesting talking points. You see videos where people look for little exploits and weaknesses which would otherwise be patched.
Yeah.
They become novel things, really.
I don't know, I'm going to say it's a good thing, but I think it's also an excuse for the developers to go, oh, we'll fix it when we release the game.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all developers do it, but it's certainly something I've noticed more as a gamer.
It's like I said, it's pretty much with any game you buy nowadays, as soon as you put it in the slot, boom, day one update.
Yeah, happens quite frequently.
So the next piece of news that we're going to look at is the mighty number 9.
Oh, now this is exciting.
Yes. Now I've actually backed this game on Kickstarter, so I will be getting a copy.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
As soon as they announced it, I was straight on there, boom, donate my money, and so I'll be getting the WiiU version of that when that comes out, definitely.
Of course.
But the reason I'm bringing this up is because today we've seen a sort of first play trailer of the actual game.
We've seen some actual gameplay footage, and it is looking pretty nice. Pretty nice indeed. Looking very exciting. One thing I thought when I saw it, it looked a little bit like. Admittedly, it did look a little bit better and a little bit more colourful, but it looked a little bit like the Strider game that came out recently, which was Capcom. And that got me thinking, because this guy who's the guy who created Mega Man, who's working on this Mighty Number 9 project, was originally from Capcom.
Yeah, he's responsible for Mega Man.
Well, no, I'm thinking it because this Strider game looked a little bit like that. It was made in the same style, so maybe there was, I don't know, maybe there's a bit of shared work, or a bit of work went into something else later down the line. I'm not entirely sure.
Possibly, I mean, we'll have to look into it.
But they did look very similar, and it did look kind of like the those really nice Mega Man remakes that came out on the PSP.
Yep.
Because they did Mega Man Power Up and Maverick Hunter X, the remake of Mega Man X. Some lovely 2.5D graphics, and the gameplay did look amazing for Mighty Number 9. I mean, before I was excited about it. I really wanted it, but now I've actually seen a little bit of footage. Now I'm really in the I can't wait. Yeah, I want to play this game now.
So because I think that's penned for release spring 2015, so next year.
They shouldn't have showed me. I got too excited too quickly now.
So everyone doesn't know.
And hype really destroys games for me as well. There are games that I'm really looking forward to, then they get really hyped, and I'm sick of hearing them by the time they come out. Have you noticed that? Is that something that happens to you?
I think they do get sort of overexposed, but
because there's been 3 big releases in the last couple of weeks. There's been Wolfenstein, Watch Dogs, and Mario Kart. All 3 of which I think have been killed a little bit by hype. It's like, I know everyone's playing them all on the same day, and I lose interest.
Well, I have to say, apart from Wolfenstein, which I haven't played it, I have got Watch Dogs and I have got Mario Kart 8, and both of them have sort of lived up to the hype.
They live up to Kool.
Especially Mario Kart 8, I think is absolutely amazing.
We'll have to try that a little bit later on.
Yeah, definitely.
Oops, I forgot the treasure. Don't think I've done that in 10 years.
No question, can you remember where it is?
Yeah, I remember where it is. It's because we're having a good chat, which is the whole nature of the programme. I don't know if you saw that just then. You got a quick brief look of, I'm going to struggle then. Oh dear. This is interesting. Yeah, this has never happened to me before. Hang on, let's see if I can go up here. Yeah, you just saw Dr. Frank N. Stein, who looks a little bit like Bruce Forsyth for any English viewers.
Oh yeah, with green hair.
Yeah. So if I know I said earlier that Sega really do back this. If they ever do want to make a Decap Attack movie, we know who's a cast and whose hair we're going to dye green.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, who'll be the little ogre thingy? His little
That'd be Tess Daly.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was just about to say that.
I feel horrible for saying that. I'm over it.
No.
You do realise that a little bit later on, before I edit this video together, I'm going to be wasting a lot of time photoshopping green hair onto Bruce Forsyth.
Oh, that has to be the caption card that comes at the beginning of the
Oh,
game.
it's going to happen now. What are we talking about?
Mighty number 9.
Whatever we were talking about isn't as interesting as Bruce Forsyth with green hair, is it?
Exactly.
No, I tell a lie. It's Mighty number 9, which is very interesting. I can't wait to play that. We'll leave a link in the description because the little bit of trailer, the gameplay footage does look really great.
And so, anyone who is a fan of the older sort of Mega Man games, I think it's going to be a pretty
It does look very faithful to the Mega Man series. But I'd like to see, I mean, he had some sort of elemental power, he had some sort of, how would you describe it? A forward lunge that he was doing, and it seemed to have ice properties. He was freezing a lot of the elements around him. So do you think that's just one power out of several that he's got an ice power, but maybe they're keeping powers behind and not showing shit like fire powers and
possibly.
other elemental powers?
I think it's meant to follow sort of like a similar route to the previous Mega Man games where you beat a boss and then you take their weapon, I think it is.
I hope so.
And then, so that'll make sense that you can get sort of like an ice weapon and a fire weapon. And
But I'll tell you one thing I hope they do, which will be a little bit different from Mega Man. And I don't know how people would feel about this. I don't know if there's any faithful Mega Man fans listening. But there was a Mega Man game they did on the GameCube, Network Transmission.
Yep.
And even though you could choose levels to enter, the maps did all seem to interconnect on top of a hub screen. You could travel from area to area. And I'm thinking it'll be good, as well as having it so you beat a boss, you get a weapon. They do, dare I say, a Metroid theme where you don't actually choose which of the 8 bosses you go after, but it's actually one huge map, and you can get these elemental powers and you can travel from place to place, but with a Mega Man feeling the controls and the armory and things.
I suppose anyone went to find out.
Maybe I'm just wishing, but I think that'd be cool.
So I completely lost track of where you are now.
Yeah! We're in World 4. We've just
Right.
done a nice tropical type zone,
Yep.
which is nice and bright orange and summery. And now we're in the water level. The obligatory water level that you have to have in every platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
The choice kills the pace. I've enjoyed playing this game through again.
Do you reckon this game deserves like some sort of 3D sequel?
Not 3D.
No?
Actually, I say that, Splatterhouse was brilliant. The most recent Splatterhouse game they did back in 2010, I think it was.
Okay.
God, was it long ago? 2010? It can't be. 2012.
You're getting old, mate.
I know. And again, that was a horror platform game, so yeah, maybe it could work in 3D. I'd like to see Sega do something with it. Because there's a lot of franchises that just don't, I mean, the one I'm really harping for, Streets of Rage 4, I'd love to see them go back and do something with Streets of Rage. That over any other Sega franchise. I mean, they do Sonics all the time. They'll release a Sonic every, I mean, they've got Sonic Boom in the works at the moment. There'll always be another Sonic game coming, but there hasn't been a Streets of Rage since the Mega Drive years. Why not?
Well, that's it. And I'm sure the fans would appreciate the game.
I know, I'd certainly appreciate it.
So when you're jumping in like that, are you sort of charging up the
Yeah, I
screen
should explain what I'm doing. These poles, which are actually have been a feature of this game since Kid Kool, they've had these sort of pole vault type poles. A little trick is if you bounce on them straight up, you get extra health. In the Japanese version, that was extra lives, because remember it's one hit kills.
Yeah.
So you can get about 12 extra lives going through one pole. That was one thing about the Japanese one which was quite strange, was, pardon me, I was finding it really, really hard and I was dying a lot, yet I had loads and loads of lives because I just kept stockpiling up on those bits.
Yeah.
So I'd find myself dying 20 times on a boss and still have 80 lives left. So
Oh, brilliant.
we will have to play Magical Hat, Turbo, Flying, Super, Ultra Full. I think that means our half an hour's up, mate.
Yes. It's been a good fun half an hour for sure, definitely.
I've enjoyed
But
myself,
yeah, no, just
mate.
coaching that. It's a Magical Hat Flying Turbo Adventure.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah.
National Health Line Turbo Adventure.
Yeah, something like
That's one government funded scheme.
that. Yes.
Fair enough. But we'll have to do that in a future video because that's an interesting game as well.
So, final thoughts?
Okay, final thoughts. Well, I'll probably be getting the GameCube adapter when Smash Brothers comes out.
Yep.
And I'm seriously excited for Mighty No. 9. More excited than a lot of the upcoming games that are in the works.
No, I'd say that's like fair enough.
And any thoughts on yours, mate?
With the GameCube adapter, I'll probably wait to see what else is going to be announced to be compatible with it. And again, I think price is going to be a big factor as well.
Cool.
For that. I mean, if it's going to be like sort of 15, 20 quid, not a problem. If they're going to make it £50, maybe that starts getting a bit too much.
I don't think it'll be anything like that. But
Again, we'll just have to wait and see.
we'll have to wait and see. And where are we going in our next video, mate?
In our next video, we're heading to Gotham City.
And I can't wait.
So,
And we'll see you there.
so yeah, until next time, catch you later.
All the best. Take care.